For me, there are two teams who are 1,000,000% going to be in the playoffs come May. That's Luton and Huddersfield. I'm not including Forest in there because I still think they could
That's
challenge
true.
for the
That is
top
true.
two.
10 goals conceded over the weekend, 6 conceded against Blackpool. Where do they go from here? I have no idea.
It's only adding more fuel to the fire for me that Birmingham City will be a side in serious danger of going down next season.
With Sheffield United dropping points and Millwall winning, it puts them right back in the mix for the top 6.
How 98-year-old Billy Sharp is still so important for Sheffield United is beyond me.
But the team that they had at their disposal should never have gone down. Roger Johnson, Jamie O'Hara, there was Sylvain Banks Blake as well, Bakary Saka. That was just a team full of quality.
It's quite sad, if anything, that Wigan side got relegated, because if they hadn't, they could have probably had a decent crack at the playoffs. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Stopwatch. Hope you had a fantastic Easter, everyone. Hope you're still full of chocolate and still have some left over, because otherwise that would be not very good for the old blood sugar, will it? But this is the Championship show with a little twist, and it's 5 topics, a 2-minute timer and 2 hosts. Time to get down to business, ladies and gentlemen. 3 games remaining for most teams in the Championship. Not much left else to play for, but me and Justin from the Second Tip podcast, we're going to go through all the bits and pieces that are still remaining in the Championship for now. So, Justin, for you, who are the winners of the Easter break?
I think it's hard to see past Millwall at the moment. Obviously, Reading with their result are a big winner, but Millwall for me, with Sheffield United dropping points and Millwall winning, it puts them right back in the mix for the top 6. And they're currently just a point off the playoffs. And as I say, going into the last final few games, they've got the easiest running out of all those teams. And I think that they could be a team that could sneak in and could cause some damage in the hunt for promotion. So yeah, I'd say definitely Millwall one of the winners.
Well, it looks like it's Millwall, Sheffield United, and Middlesbrough who are playing for that final spot, don't they? Millwall, the one who have got the most momentum right now, haven't they? Because they have also got 2 very winnable games coming up as well. So I completely agree with you there. It's just about making this momentum count, isn't it? Particularly over these next couple of games.
No, you're absolutely spot on. It's all about getting that momentum together and making sure that the players that are in form, the likes of Tom Bradshaw, Benny Kofobe, are still clicking as soon as this. They don't get or they don't drop form is what I'm trying to say. It's really important that they keep that consistency going.
Spot on. The big winners for me were Luton Town, a side who I was a bit worried about heading into this Easter break. They just looked like they were taking their foot off the pedal a bit, looked like they were running out of a bit of steam, but now they've managed to get 2 fantastic results over the Easter break, and now they look like their playoff place is just about secure for me. They've got a 6-point gap, 1 more win, and they're pretty much there. And before I was worried about them, now I think they're pretty much there. Justin, what do you think?
Do you not think injuries are going to cause an issue? Because that's something that creeps into my mind with Luton and their potential for finishing in that top 6.
Injuries could be a bit of a problem. They had 3 pick-up knocks against Cardiff, didn't they? But considering they only need 1 more win, and they're essentially there when you look at the table, I think they're all right. I wouldn't be too worried, even if they have picked up injuries. On the spin side then, Justin, what's next topic?
Who are the losers of the Easter break?
The big losers for me are Sheffield United, a team who I was pretty set on being in the top 6, but it seems to have unravelled very quickly, and I'm not really sure where they go from here. They're at a bit of a crossroads right now. They've sorely missed Billy Sharp. How a team like Sheffield United can rely so much on Billy Sharp is beyond me. But the other players have really dropped in form as well. They're relying so much on Morgan Gibbs-White to pull out the odd bit of quality here or there. But the results have gone against them over the Easter weekend, and now they look like the team who the others outside of the playoffs are looking to catch at this point, aren't they?
Yeah, spot on. 1 point out of 6 isn't ideal for them, and putting chances away has been a real issue. And obviously, Billy Sharp, one of the most clinical players in the division, missing is going to be a big problem for Sheffield United. But as you say, yeah, big losers for the weekend. For me, it's got to be Birmingham City. 10 goals conceded over the weekend, 6 conceded against Blackpool. Where do they go from here? I have no idea. Lee Bowyer may well get sacked after that. I know fans have started to turn against him. Rumours are that he's lost the dressing room, but for me, Birmingham City are in a complete mess, and they need a strong finish at the end of the season. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Could well seep into next season.
They're a mess anyway, aren't they? The club is a mess as a whole, but it's just been amplified even more by the results over
Mm.
this Easter weekend. And it's only adding more fuel to the fire for me that Birmingham City will be a side in serious danger of going down next season, because the
Hmm.
club's in state of flux. You've got players there who are either A, seriously overpaid and not earning what they are being paid,
Yeah.
or B, aren't that good anyway.
Hmm.
Um, Lebo is a manager I like, but he's got one hell of a job on, and they've shown from their recruitment over the past few years that they don't know how to replace the players they've got there. So they're in serious danger, and I think that's only been made more obvious by the results over Easter. Just the next topic, after the last two games, are your playoff predictions any clearer now?
The glasses have become a little less foggy than they were. I think for me, there are two teams that are dead certs right now for the playoffs, and that's Huddersfield and Forest. Luton, I'm probably about 56%. I was alluding earlier about injuries being an issue. Nathan Jones has said himself that substitutions have become plasters rather than substitutions for personnel. So I think injuries could yet have an impact on what Luton do. And obviously that final spot, Sheffield United dropping off in form, not scoring goals, opens the door up for Millwall, who we have previously ruled out. And obviously Middlesbrough with the game in hand as well. Yeah, not quite clear, but certainly less foggy than it was.
For me, there are two teams who are 1,000,000% going to be in the playoffs come May. That's Luton and Huddersfield. I'm not including Forest in there because I still think they could
That's
challenge
true.
for the
That is
top
true.
two. So I think those three for sure are still going to be having a say in their promotion
Hmm.
come the end of the season. It's the last spot for me that is still up in the air. I think Sheffield United are still the most likely. But as we say, Millwall have got two very winnable games coming up, and they've got the most momentum out of the three teams there. Middlesbrough have still got a decent say. They've got a game in hand as well, but they look really bereft of confidence right now, which is
Hmm.
why I'm a bit worried about them. But it's between those three for me at this point. Blackburn, you look at the table, they're still in with a chance, but I just can't see it happening because they're Blackburn. They've been so
They're so
woeful
poor.
now for quite some time, and I don't think I've ever seen a team look so close to the playoffs in reality, but so far away from them at the same time. It's very strange. But it's between those three for me now: Middlesbrough, Millwall, and Sheffield United for that final playoff place. And we may even see a cameo from Bournemouth coming the end of the season if Forest continue their serious charge for the top two. Justin, what's next topic?
Which player do you think will have the biggest say between now and the end of the season?
Talking about Sheffield United quite a lot in this episode. Billy Sharp is the man who's going to have a serious say in Sheffield United's final few games. Mainly because Billy Sharp has been missing with injury recently, and his absence has been so obvious in the Sheffield United
Hmm.
team. How 98-year-old Billy Sharp is still so important for Sheffield United is beyond me, but they look a completely different team without him there. McBurney is not the same as Billy Sharp, is he? Morgan Gibbs-White needs someone to bounce off. McBurney's not that player. Billy Sharp is. Billy Sharp is still contributing with really important goals, and he's still got that leadership that Sheffield United have sorely missed, and they need him back. If they get him back for these past three games or however many it is, then I think they should be just good enough to get over the line, and that will also see him good stead for the playoffs as well. But without him for the final three games, I'm concerned.
No, I completely agree with you. He's a talisman in a sense, and his injuries really impacted how Sheffield United play going forwards. Because he's not only that, but he adds a lot to the team going forwards as well. His ability to play behind the box and ruffle defenders' feathers certainly helps. But for me, Jed Wallace is a player that's got to be in there. He's got a groin scan on Tuesday, which could rule him out until the end of the season if fears of the injury are as bad as they think. But again, he's a talisman for Millwall. That could be the difference between Millwall finishing the top six and finish outside the top six. I know they've got the likes of Benny Kafobia and Bradshaw, as I've mentioned, but Jed Wallace really has something special to that Millwall team. And, it would be a sad way to maybe end his Millwall career as well, should he not make an appearance before the end of the season and should Millwall not get in the playoffs. But for me, yeah, Jed Wallace could have a huge, huge impact on what Millwall do and what Sheffield United do as well.
Hard to disagree with you. Finally, just in second tier retro time, as your beloved Derby have amassed 52 points, if you discount the points deduction. Who is the best side to be relegated from the Championship? I think Derby have got to be in the conversation, haven't they? Just for the sheer amount of points they've actually amassed this season. But who else is in your mind?
The Wolves team from 2012, 2013. I've been trying to wrestle Wolves into one of these for a long time because they've had some good teams, they've had some bad teams as well. But yeah, that Wolves team from 2012, 2013, they're a team that shouldn't have been anywhere near relegation. They came down from the Premier League the season before and were a complete mess. They employed Stale Solbakken, who has actually got a decent reputation now. And then he was sacked in January before Dean Saunders came in, which again, I think he came from Wrexham non-league, and that started to show with the team that he had. But the team that they had at their disposal should never have gone down. Roger Johnson, Jamie O'Hara, there was Sylvan Banks Blake as well, Bakary Saka. That was just a team full of quality. But they were terrible football team at that time. Really, really poor.
Yeah, which our video editor, Charlie, will fondly remember. The best team to have been relegated for me is another team who had a points deduction, and that's that Wigan side from 2 or 3 years ago. They were magnificent, weren't they? They were the form team in the second half of the division, second half of the season, I should say. But they just couldn't get over the points deduction and the poor start they had to that season. But they were so good for the final 3 or 4 months of that season. And it says a lot about how good that team was, that essentially every single player there ended up playing in the Championship next season, despite Wigan not being there. And you look at the players they had there as well. They had the likes of Kiefer Moore, Jamal Lowe, Cal Naismith, Nathan Burns, Sam Morsey, David Marshall, players who have gone on to do quite well post Wigan. Mixed results for some of them, but some of them have gone on to do really, really well in their careers afterwards. And it's quite sad, if anything, that Wigan side got relegated, because if they hadn't, they could have probably had a decent crack at the playoffs the season afterwards. But it's one of those things that's a what if. Thankfully now Wigan look like they'll be back in the Championship next season, and they can carry on where they left off. But I really have a bit of a soft spot for that Wigan side because it was a really good team under Paul Cook. It's just a shame the way it had to end that season. And there we go, another episode of the Stopwatch. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and drop us a like if you've enjoyed, and please subscribe for more content like this. We've been the Second Tier Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Second Tier Pod. I'm Ryan Dilks1. That's Justin Peach 27, and we'll be back very soon for more Stopwatch action. So thank you for watching.